واحد من أفضل المدربين اللي عدوا على الدوري المصري في سياقات مختلفة كتير، كان موجود مع وادي دجلة، كان موجود مع البنك الأهلي، والنهاردة هو مدير فني لنادي الإتحاد السكندري. تجارب كتير زي ما قلنا، دجلة، البنك الأهلي، غزل المحلة، لكن النهاردة هو مدير فني لنادي الإتحاد السكندري. منورنا ومشرفنا في هاتريك مستر بابا فاسيليو كضيف عزيز جدا علينا في هاتريك. Mister, thank you for joining us. Very happy to have you in the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. I talked to a lot of your players in Degla, in Mahalla, in Bank Al-Ahli. One word I heard from each of them: he is the best manager we have ever seen. What is the secret as a person between you and the players?
Yeah, it's so nice for my players to talk so highly about me. You know, you live day by day with all those players, and my approach, it's always to help them. First of all, to help them see the game better, to understand the game better. But also in the human side, we pay a lot of attention to each individual. When I work in the club, I want to know my players. I want to know the inside. If you know your players, you know how to help them. And this approach, I think, it works really well. The players understand my character, but I understand their character also. They know with me that when we work, we work.
Sure.
But outside the field, we can have a good relationship. Sometimes near, sometimes distance. This is depends of my feelings. But yeah, it's really good because, in my opinion,
it's a family before anything.
It's a family. It's a family, yeah. And if you can influence, if you can influence the career of a player, it will never forget. So in my career, I had coaches that they really influenced me. And I want to pass this to any player or any generation that I work with.
When you made your pro license, your diploma was very, very good to Mr. Gairo, if I say it right. He liked it so much.
Yeah, Gairo.
Gairo. With the players and France, and it was fascinating for him. Can you tell us about this?
Well, Giroud is a legend of French football, and he was 24 years in the same club.
Yeah.
So
and I was there.
Yeah. So when I was doing my pro license, I decided to go to Auxerre because it's a great example of one team with limited resources, limited facilities, 1 hour away from Paris. One coach for so many years, and I wanted to know the secrets behind this success. So that's why I went there, and I was so happy that I went there because I spoke with him a lot, and also this time it was also Fernandez.
Yeah.
And we had a long conversation. I stayed there for 10 days, so I saw the idea behind everything. So yeah, Auxerre started with 2 people, with Giroud and Laurent, and it was a club in the lower categories. So they recruit and they make a scouting, then they bring some good players. So in the first season they managed to sell 2 of them. So when they sold those 2 players, they had to make a decision. Either we bring expensive players, or we invest in the facilities. So they invest in the facilities, they invest in scouting, and they make something that is going to stay in the history of French football.
Yeah, and maybe it was your idea in the moment.
Yeah.
With all the clubs you managed here in Egypt.
Yeah, it's you know, in nowadays clubs, they don't give so much time to coaches. This is not only here; it's worldwide. But this example of one coach to be so many years in one club, and also in my club in Crete, I had Eigen Gerard, the Dutch coach, that he stayed 14 years in the club, which is the biggest record for Greek football.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing to see how much one club can develop when they have patience and they have full support in somebody that can really develop the club.
You were lucky to see this on the field. Okay, let's start about your career here in Egypt and in Wadi Degla. Some ideas. It was great for Egypt. Maybe we see it for the first time to bring a midfielder like Khalid Rida and put it on the defense to make the build-up more good, more efficient in not small club, but it's a medium club here in Egypt, Wadi Degla. Why you give this idea to the team? I mean, maybe nowadays the Egyptian coach Hussam Hassan made it with Hamdi Fathi in the national team to have a player from the midfield in the defense for a good football.
Well, first of all, you need to coach what you believe. In football, you need to coach what you believe. And of course, sometimes we evaluate the quality of the players. If the quality of the players can support your ideas and the way you want to play. I felt in this Wadi Degla that I had the quality to play the football I played. So it was players that now they are making a great career in other clubs, like Reda, like Hilal, like Yakubu, like Elwati, like Rafik, Marwan, Hamdi,
all of them,
Beckham, all those players. I'm so happy to see them develop in the way that they develop. We still have a close communication, and always when I see them, it's great to see their progression. Really amazing. But sometimes, you see a quality of the player that he can perform in one different position. Like Beckham, he was center back. In my style, I put him as a right back. A right back can come inside. I had more safety with Beckham there. The same happened in Mahalab with the center back of Zed.
Muazzar Hinnawi.
Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah.
With the names, no problem.
Yes, he was a left back, and I put him Elaish. I put him as a center back. So yeah, these things is about your intuition sometimes, what you see. Yeah, but it's really good.
In Degla, you had an influence on a couple of players more than the others. Let's talk about Hilal and Yakubu. Hilal wasn't effective so much on the goal, and you have some sessions with him about how to be more efficient on the goal. From this point of view, how can you develop a winger or a playmaker like this to make aggressive on the goal, score more goals? What did you make?
Yeah, if we speak especially for Hilal, first of all, he's a very gifted player, and he has a great understanding. So every time we evaluate the player and we see where we can improve him. In this situation with Hilal, I felt that he was moving too much. So I wanted him to be more disciplined in his area, and the boy, he understands really well exactly what I wanted from him, and we take the best out of him. The same happened in Bangalahli, and he was very unlucky because he had the call from Vitoria to play for the first time in the national team, and that was because his performance with us was brilliant. With Yakubu, I had him from Greece,
Yes.
And he developed one of the best left backs in the Egyptian league. We had to improve him in his defensive side. And you know, when the player is open for the information, when he's willing to change,
Yeah.
then we see something different. So I am a great believer that if you improve the individual, you improve the team. So that's what we're trying to do with every player.
With Yakubu, he was taking the ball, got inside to the bottom, not on the goal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How did you change this?
We need to understand the game. We need to understand the moments of the game. Sometimes you have to go outside, sometimes you have to go inside. So where is the space, you know, and what is the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of details that we work with the players, and always our focus is to understand the game better and the moment of the game better.
Okay, from the behind the scenes in Digla, I hear that Takis Junias before you with Digla, always depending on the goalkeeper to pass the ball to the goalkeeper, moving from right to left and so on. But you have another idea, don't go back to the line. If the right back have the ball, he don't need to go back. Play forward.
First of all, I don't want to speak about other coaches.
For sure.
You know, every coach has his own ideas, and I respect very much all coaches who have different ideas.
For sure.
I have the philosophy that if I can play forward, I have to play forward. Okay, if I can not play forward, I can play sideways. If I cannot play forward, if I cannot play sideways, my third solution is to play backwards. So I want to apply those ideas to my players. So everybody has his own ideas. So I was lucky in this period that I took Wadi Degla to have this period of the Corona, if you remember.
Sure.
So we had the break, and I had then 4 or 5 weeks to make like a pre-season. So when we started the competition, the team was ready with different ideas. So yeah, it's always very important to have the time to work with the players.
Okay. The problem of build-up is always in Egypt. Even in some of the big names, we have a problem to have a players that's good from the building up, for the build-up, from the defense to forward and so on. How can you fix this? You put a pattern to the players, to the wingers.
Yeah, we train what we play. We train what we play. So for me, if you build up, that's all the modern coaches in Premier League, in everywhere in the world. The football the last 10 years, it has been an evolution, you know, and you need to be always updated, and you need to be able to teach the players the modern way of playing. So if you train what you play, and if the players they understand the details, then for me, starting from the back can be a great weapon to finish with a goal. Because the opponent gives you a lot of space behind, you know? So sometimes it can be with 2 passes, sometimes it can be with 3, with 4, to attack and, you know, and go behind the defense. So understanding the different moments of the game are very important. So that's why we train every day, so the players are familiar. So when they face those moments in the games, they're familiar because they train them. You know, to attack, you need to have courage, and you need to have confidence. And I'm giving always this confidence to my players. But football is not only attack, it's also defense. So you need a balance. So in my mind, I have, if I defend well, I can attack well. So those 2 things, they go together. You know, if you don't defend well, you will not attack well.
Some coaches are saying we don't have time for training. We are playing every 3 days. We're playing a match, so the coach doesn't have the time to train. What do you think about that?
Well, you always find the time. Now there is a pre-season. I have my players 6 weeks. By the end of the pre-season, my team need to be ready in every aspect of the game. So then, sometimes you have 5 days, sometimes you have 3 days, sometimes you have 2 weeks, sometimes there is international week, so you always find the time. And the players, when they are used to train with your ideas, you don't lose it in 3 days. Mm-hmm. Or if there is 5 games in 1 month, you don't lose. And there is also, now in our days, you can train the players with video analysis. Mm-hmm. So the analysis, the corrective, the information, it's also very important. It can have the same effect.
Yeah, for sure. From Degla to Bank Al Ahli. I remember yeah, I know, but let's start with Bank Al Ahli. Yeah. I remember a difficult days with Bank Al Ahli before Zamalek match and Pyramids match. It was not good with Bank Al Ahli, and then you took the very good step. You beat Zamalek first, and then Pyramids in the
Yes.
How about those days?
Yeah, it was this time that we went on the 16th game of the season, and we had no time to work with the players, and we went immediately into a game. Mm-hmm. So it took us 3-4 games for the players to understand our ideas and to get it right. So in the 5th game we played against I think Pyramids.
Yes.
And it was a game that we needed to have result. So we had a fantastic game. And you know, sometimes you need this click to switch the button. Mm-hmm. So we got it in this game, and then we had an amazing run. I have to say that it was the most difficult mission in my career.
With the Bank Al Ahli?
Yeah, because I take the team with 12 points. And at this stage, when we had 12 points, we draw with Mahala, which it was my ex-club. Mahala had 25 points, and we had 13. And Aswan had 23 points, and we had, of course, 1 round. But you can understand that it was very difficult. Mm-hmm. It's like you are with the back in the wall, and you cannot make mistake.
Sure.
So we had 6 games in a row that we was playing with teams that we compete to stay in the league. Mm-hmm. And we didn't make a mistake.